a response or reaction video to Jordan Welch's If You're Broke But Ambitious, please watch this video. And I thought that this was like, something I'm just gonna be really curious about. I think I've watched almost every single one of his videos. I think that he's a very responsible business person, and just it's kind of cool seeing somebody like take it's like literally his YouTube is a journal of his journey through entrepreneurship, and like even showing all the struggle, showing all the real life stuff that's going on with him. And now he's become a huge, pretty successful millionaire. And he's even talking about steps in this video here. And I'm going to go through all those, but I think that in this place that he's at now is that everybody, as you are making leaps and bounds in your life as far as money and financial success is concerned, there's always like a moment that you just can't break through. And you're trying to get to this next step, but you don't know what it is. And you're just like, you're going through motions and you're going through what you know how to do to become that next level of success that you expect or you're looking for, or whatever it may be. And I think that's kind of what Jordan's doing now, especially with all these new Instagram style, these car style videos that he's coming out with, that's raw and just real instead of just like whole bunch of edited out, stuff, which is good too. I'm not downplaying any of the highly edited YouTube content. But these are pretty cool, the ones that he's been showing lately. And so if you're watching me look down, I just wrote some notes so that I can stay on topic while I'm going through this. But I wanted a real life, hey, I just watched this like maybe 20, 30 minutes ago. And I wrote a couple of notes about what he was talking about, the steps that he went through, and then my own interpretation of what's happening here. And then my reaction is going to be, what step am I at? Where am I at in my journey of entrepreneurship, and sharing that with the world as well. Hopefully it's something that, intrigues you or interests you in some way that you're coming on here. I did a live just so, one, it's easy to edit later on. And I thought that it'd just be really cool to do a live. And if anybody has something to say on here, I can check it out. I'm watching right here. So anyways, I'm Michael Shear, entrepreneur. I'm also a computer science teacher, and I'm just trying to make myself a millionaire by the time that I'm 40. So I actually have roughly two more years to go. So anyways, Jordan's talking about the very first thing that people need to do to get their mindset correct around money is to what he calls get a taste for money. And he talks about it as like that first sale, that first money that you get that you didn't like work for, like not work for, but you didn't actually have your time determined how you made the money. I sold a piece of candy at school, or intro into making money in a way that you weren't expecting to make money. And you also find out that, hey, it's sometimes maybe even easier than you may expect it to be. And I definitely do look like Steph Curry. All right. He broke down a couple of different steps. So he did like steps 1 through 5 on this like money journey and understanding and finances and what it looks like to become successful as far as the monetary is concerned. So the first step that he got into was, hey, the very first thing that you should do, and may I even add on to this, is that the Temu Steph Curry, that is exactly right, actually. It's hilarious. There's 5 steps in becoming rich and becoming successful financially. And that if you take these steps out of order, it's either going to make it a lot harder for you to get there, or it's just going to take a lot longer. But if you do go step by step in this way, then it'll be a lot faster and a lot quicker, and you can do it in your 20s and your 30s. You can do it in a couple of years instead of having to wait decades to get the same type of outcome financially that you're looking for. So anyways, step 1 that he mentioned is reselling an item that you have. So almost every single person, especially people that are in the United States, everybody in the United States has stuff that they don't really need. And so the very first way to get that taste of money is by reselling the things that you have or selling something that you already own. For, let's say for me, what I did, I think my very first taste of money whenever I was really young was I found out my grandmother was recycling a whole bunch of Coke cans. And she would take it to the recycling center place and boom, we'll get like 15, 16 bucks, and then we would go get a pizza. That hit me like, oh, how do you make money? Well, and me as a child, I can't work. I'm not 15, 16 years old. I'm like in middle school, but I do have a bicycle. I can go and ride around the town and just collect cans on the side of the street. And that is exactly what me and my buddies did like 3 or 4 weekends straight. I can still remember this. Me and my buddy Tony and Matt, we literally just went around the entire town that we lived in, which is very small. It's like 2 square miles large. I took all these cans, got them into a trash can or a trash bag, went to the recycling center. They gave me $6. Me and my boys, we went over to Huck's. We got a couple of 20 ounces and some, like a Reese's and a Snickers and whatnot. Boom. That was my first taste of money, and it was different because it was kind of fun. It was enjoyable. It was me and my boys. We were out. We made money in a way that it wasn't like somebody who said, hey, if you go and do X, Y, Z, I will give you this. But it was just my own idea, my own concept. I made it up and I made some money. So that's step one, is just reselling something and getting into an idea of like, hey, you can make money without having to spend the time to make it. Jordan talked about step 2 being selling a service. Now for me, this is something that I didn't get to into until a later time, which is actually right about now. And he talked about how a lot of people skip that step as well and go straight into business. And a lot of times the reason that it isn't good as far as business is concerned is because they don't know how to really run a business. And most of the time, the general population of people don't understand that you must have money to run a business. And a lot of people just try to get into business without having the funds to do it. And they just think that, hey, if I'm going to make this money online or I'm going to sell products or whatever it may be, they get into drop shipping like you talked about here. And he talks about drop shipping, that you're going to promote this thing that you have, this, and for online and the internet is concerned, it takes advertising dollars. If you're not advertising, it's going to take you a lot longer to make the same amount of money. Like, yeah, you can do it. You can produce YouTube, you can do content, you can do TikTok, and maybe make some sales that way. And you probably will even. But if you can take $50 to $1,000 and put that into advertising, you're going to make that same amount of money about 30 times faster. The impact, the penetration that it has, that advertising has, paid advertising has, is that it gets you out there a lot quicker, a lot easier. You're getting exposed more because you're paying for that exposure. And you're paying for your products to be in front of people's faces. You're paying for it. And so people will buy it when they are seeing it more often. And a lot of people say the ads don't work. That is a lie. That is a lie. You're always being advertised to. People see it all the time. And although you may think that you don't like being marketed to and advertised to, that's exactly how you buy everything that you own. I guess one example of this for advertising, especially in the most recent, is going to be Prime. Prime, whatever it is, I don't even know, I don't even drink it, but I see it all the time. Everybody's promoting. Kids are promoting it. Their own selves are promoting it. People are getting paid to promote it. Jake Paul and Logan Paul are making crazy amount of money because they advertised. If they just threw that on the shelf and hoped for the best, they did that little wishing game that other, drinks have tried to do and failed miserably at, they're going to be in the same exact position. Another one would be, what's that water that it's like death water or something like that. I forgot even what they're talking about. But promotion, advertising. So the reason that people can't do well in step 3, creating a business and getting out there and making a lot of money and leveraging and taking forever with their business is because they don't have the money in the first place. And so they need to have a service, and they need to find a service that they can do, or a 9-to-5. Oh, that was a nasty word, I know. Nasty phrase, 9-to-5. Nobody wants to talk about it. Everybody talks about how bad it is, horrible it is. But if you use your 9-to-5 to fund that business instead of living literal paycheck to paycheck, which everybody does, or hey, you get a raise at work, right? You're making $60,000. They offer you an administrative position. Now you're making 90. Guess what most people do? They go and live as a $90,000 worker would make or would do. The lifestyle increases, and then you're still at the same place you were before. So people don't use their 9-to-5s in the right way if they're trying to become wealthy. They're still living paycheck to paycheck. Even if you were making $120,000, I almost can guarantee it, without the right financial mindset, you're not going to save any money. You're going to spend it all every single time that you get it, and you're going to be stuck in the same place that you've always been for the next 30 years. Step 4. He talks about getting your life in order. So step 4, I don't agree with this part, actually. He talked about being healthy, creating a diet, self-development, improving your body, physically, fitness, things of that nature. This is the part that I don't essentially agree with in his statements. Like, hey, once you can actually get the leverage, you can make money in your sleep with your business. You're not having to work and not having to put all your time into it, and you're still making money. That way you can start being financially free in the sense of self-development, fitness, and health. And I disagree with that, because I think that you need a little bit of that sprinkled in when you're in the development stages of step 1, step 2, and step 3. Step 1 being reselling items. Step 2, reselling or selling a service that you can do, your time, your effort. That'd be, again, step 2 is like mowing a yard or power washing, car washing. Maybe you do a credit repair service for somebody. Or you're doing it for yourself, but for clients and things of that nature, for your family. That's a service. So, you can have a business in that sense, but it's a service that takes your time and your effort to be there to actually make money. If you're not there, does it make money? No. If you're not mowing the yards, you're not making the money. If you're not power washing the houses, you're not making any money. So that's why step 2 has that time part in there. Then the leverage business is when you don't have to be there. So if you're an Amazon e-commerce seller, or if you're a drop shipper, if you do, maybe even flipping real estate, but you're the person that would hire contractors. You're not doing the flips themselves. That's the leverage of business. So you're getting into that point of where you're taking money to make money instead of your time to make money. And then lastly, he talks about assets. This is step 5. So once you have that leverage business, once you're creating income in a place that you don't have to be there to make the money, what are you going to do with that money from there is to get into like wealth. Yes, you can become a millionaire. Yes, you can have $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $10 million from a leveraged business. You can even sell your business and make a whole bunch of money, but what are you going to do next? How do you create wealth that's everlasting for you and your family and your things like that? He talks about, and I actually readjusted the wording, and I call this the luxuries. So he talks about getting into real estate, buying properties. And again, sounds like leverage to me, but I think that what he really means is that doing things that you can put risk on for a certain amount of time, that let's say 5 years down the road, you might be able to quintuple your money. Like you might be able to 10, 20, 30x your money because it's just sitting there. It's not actually having to cash flow like a leveraged business does. So he's talking about buying real estate, buying luxury, getting into cryptocurrency. He even makes what I think is a beautiful analogy here is like, you're not going to get rich putting $65 week after week into a meme coin. It just doesn't work. You need to have 200, 300, $1 million that you can just dump into this one thing that can do that 5, 10x, and then you just get out. And now you took that million and made it 10 million, and you didn't really have to work for it like you would with a business. With a business, you got to manage, you got to have the people, you got to leverage the money, you got to do the cash flow, you got to buy inventory. You kind of see what he's talking about with leverage there. So, where am I at? The question at the end of it all is, where are you? And I think that this is a great question for all of us. Where the heck are we in these steps? So step one are reselling all of your own stuff, or maybe other things like Pokemon cards, or going to, what's it called? Yard sales and whatnot, and reselling items off of that. Step two is having a service to sell. Sell things, making offers, selling a service, selling your time. Hopefully it's more than what a 9-to-5 would do. But also step two is 9-to-5 as well. Do you have a 9-to-5 that can create consistent income for you? Step three, leveraged business. So making money in your sleep, having content like this, like YouTube content. Do you have ebooks that you sell online? Do you have real estate deals that you can hire contractors to go in and do, painters, roofers, things of that nature? What is a business that you can leverage that doesn't have to do with your own time? Step four is getting to know yourself. Who are you? What do you like to do? What is your idea of this financial freedom? Once you find that out, once you have success with your own health, your own self-development, and you can be calm with what you are, and that leveraged business, being able to pay for your time, can teach you to step five, which is having those luxuries. So once you find out who you are, you're a fit person, you're healthy, you're developed. Maybe that's when you start having that family context. Maybe you've never had a family before. Now that you have a luxury business, you have time that you can develop your family with. You can have kids and a wife that you're able to spend time with instead of being just stuck in that financial crisis, essentially, of that 9-to-5 or that paycheck to paycheck feeling. Is you're really stuck. Money is a huge portion. It is, I would even not say 90% of your life is based around money. If you have wealth, if you have finances, if you have the freedom, you can take that, buy back time, and then use that for whatever luxury it may be. Maybe it's travel. Maybe it's assets and homes and family. If it's your own family, maybe it's a legacy that you're trying to provide. So that's that part of it. And you can't really have, you can have that, but it's going to be sprinkles of what it could be if you had a whole lot of financial freedom. So that is my reaction to Jordan Welch's "If You're Broke But Ambitious, Please Watch This." Because I think I'm right there. Middle class is broke. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I'm on a teacher salary, and I'm trying this entrepreneur thing because I know that's the only way to become wealthy, to have a legacy, to have financial freedom and pursuit of having this thing that I can pass down to my kids. I don't want to just pass down a $10,000 to $20,000 life insurance policy. I want to have something that they can sit back and be like, okay, my dad got me a house. My grandpa got me a house. You know, he left me $1 million to be able to do life with. And I think that if you can give that to your grandkids, give that to your whole community at large, maybe that's what it is. Maybe you feel like your passion is for your church. Maybe you feel like your passion is for this nonprofit. What if that's the only way you can make lasting efforts, is if you do have a large amount of money. You can give more time and put more effort and pursuits into those things. Yes, you don't have to. Yes, $1 is probably worth enough, but how much more could you do if you had that leverage business that you got into? So hope that this kind of helps anybody. This you see it from the point of view of somebody that's really going through it right now. It's working on leverage, working on getting funding in the funding space to make an incredibly large business and hopefully sell it. Because I want to leave a legacy to my kids, my grandkids, whenever that comes along. And I want to have a whole bunch of assets like real estate, like cryptocurrency, like a monster portfolio, like different luxuries and cars and supercars and things of that nature. That's going to be dope. Can't wait to get there. But here's where we are right now. And this is just my journey. So if you're on this channel and you're watching right now, I appreciate you for being on the live. And I appreciate you for going through all my other content that I'm providing. If you're interested in anything like that, I do have a website that you can go to, thinkwithsheer.com. That is the website. Go on there. Just send the email. I'll start doing some newsletters. And also is my stand store for my free ebook on how to build your credit. So go check that as well. It's going to be in the links later on. It's not right now on the live, but that's no big deal. And go check out Jordan Welch, man. The dude's got so much knowledge. I think he's still just in his 20s, became a millionaire, has really hustled really hard and learned a whole bunch, traveled, has interviewed a whole bunch of millionaires and billionaires, and I think is just a brilliant mind that a lot of people don't know about, and I think that you should go and check him out. So yeah, appreciate y'all. Thanks for joining the live, and catch me next time. Take care, y'all.